Let's see. Hello.
Hello.
Jair, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Good. Welcome to class.
Thank you.
And Bakri, hello.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. Hmm. Um, where are you from?
I'm from Sudan.
Sudan. Wow, cool.
Yes.
I think you might be my first Sudanese student.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
very, very cool. We're glad you're here. Very cool. And Anna Carolina, hello.
Hello, Stephanie. Hi, guys.
Excellent. Evandro, hello.
Hello, I'm here again.
Good, good. And Ksenia, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, but I have small health issues. Nose running, or how I should say. Yes,
Oh,
nose
yeah.
running.
You have a cold, your nose is running.
Stuff nose.
Yes.
Yeah. You could say my nose is running or I have a runny nose.
Okay, I have runny nose, so my voice is different.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. Um, yeah, one nice thing about Verbling is we can still have class and nobody gets sick. Uh, all right, so welcome everyone. Glad you are here. Um, in the chat, let's see, I tried to paste a link and I pasted a sentence from something totally unrelated. Ignore that. Now there is a link in the chat to our lesson today. This class is called Discussion Starters. And our main goal is to speak. So to have a structured discussion in English on one topic. And that topic is medical tourism.
Medical tourism.
And we will do a variety. We will work on some vocabulary, do a short reading that we'll share, but most of all discussion. So that's why we are here. Just a reminder for everyone, when you are not speaking, try to mute your mic. I will do the same. It improves the sound quality for everyone. And let's just warm up really quickly before we go to the lesson. Let's just warm up. What is medical tourism? What do you think medical tourism is? Let me say hello, Wilson. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good, good.
Medical tourism, I think, is when you go to a place to travel and to see a doctor too. Okay, in Brazil we have this and plastic surgeon. Yes,
Mhm.
plastic. Yeah, a lot of people comes to Brazil, visit the beaches and make a surgery. Okay, a body surgery or something like that.
Great. Yeah. Well said. Yeah. So when you travel, in order to have some sort of surgery or medical procedure.
Yes,
Great.
yes.
Great. Listen, that's a good definition. Would anyone like to add on to Wilson's definition?
It's kind of business right now. Cities, countries, they're trying to invest in medical tourism.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's kind of becoming a big business.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. All right. So that's what we're talking about today. This is a controversial issue. So the pros and cons of medical tourism. Let's go to the lesson, and we'll start with a little pre-reading discussion. Let's start up here. We have a quote. Let's have a volunteer read that. Jair, would you read this quote for us?
Yes. At this point, it is for people outside of the country, but who's to say tomorrow it won't be for people inside the country?
Good. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So this quote is kind of just to get us thinking on the topic. So let's see. Any interpretations of this quote?
I think most of the service or that I mean they mainly offered for tourism, or it's it's affordable by through the tourist more than for the tourist more than the native or the resident of that city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she could be referring to the cost. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think sometimes it is because the cost, and it is because the quality and the structure that some countries have, for instance, and because of that some people prefer to travel abroad and had a surgery in other place, but the cost is the main reason, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, great. Yeah, great interpretations both. And I'm not sure exactly the exact intention, but yeah, maybe it's about cost and availability. All right, those are some of the main themes we'll be discussing today. Here's our definition to do a question. So I'm going to go around. Everyone's going to have an opportunity to answer this question. We'll pick and choose different people to start. But our first question, what reasons do people have for seeking medical attention in other countries? So Jair kind of touched on this a little bit, but Ana Carolina, can we go to you? What do you think, what reasons do people have for seeking medical attention in other countries?
Sometimes because the medical procedure they want to get is cheaper. Sometimes because it's not allowed in their country for some reason, or maybe because it is easier in another country. Sometimes they need a organ to be transplanted, and to get one in the black market, because some countries sell, I guess. Teacher, I think it's true. And sometimes because as my classmate Jair was saying, it seems to be more reliable in another country. Sometimes they are looking for a better technology or more knowledge in the field.
Yeah, great. All right, great. I think that's a great list. Yeah. Excellent. Let's see. Does anyone want to add on? Bakri, do you have anything to add to that list?
No, I think availability of the service, it's mainly why people they go travel for, seek medical attention in other countries.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
new technologies.
Great. Yeah.
Yes, and I think sometimes it's a last opportunity. Talking about cancer, sometimes people say, okay, in Turkey they discover something new, and then the people think, okay, I will go there because that's my last chance. So I think it's when people are desperate, they go to another country too.
Really interesting. Great. Yeah. So desperation might cause someone to go somewhere. Great. Excellent. I think we have a great list here, but let's just check in. Evandro or Jair, anything to add?
I think the main reasons, in my opinion, is 2 points. Are 2 points. First one, I think, is the reputation of this country. The what this country knows about this treatment, about the disease, and other point is nowadays many people are seeking for how can I say alternative treatment. I think that many people are thinking about the alternative treatment for many diseases.
Yeah, great. So a different location might have different treatments.
Yeah. For example, mainly the spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
the spiritual treatment. For example, in our Asia countries,
Mm-hmm.
spirit is how can I say spiritual treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that. Good. Good addition.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. Great. Jair, anything you want to add to that list?
No, maybe one. Sometimes there is experiment, for instance, with a new medicine to cure a cancer or other disease, and you can apply, for instance, to go to that country and try. As yes.
Yeah, so kind of formal medical experiments that may be happening in a different country.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Definitely, I wouldn't
Clinical
have thought of that
trials.
either. Nice. All right, great work, everyone. That's a long list. Great. Anything to add to that before we go to question 2? Let's see. So let's look at some risks, and we'll do another list. Let's start. Ksenia just came back, so maybe we'll give her a chance there. What are some risks in going abroad for medical treatment? I don't know if
For everyone, or you're going to?
Well, I was gonna call on Ksenia. Ksenia,
Yes, I'm here.
okay.
Mhm.
We'll start with Ksenia, and then we'll go around.
I think the first risk may be the price, because you think the one price, but plus analysis, plus bed, plus maybe meals, it can be cost a fortune, I think.
Yeah, so the procedure plus the trip. Great. All right, let's go. Wilson, what do you think? Any risks?
Yes, I think it's related to price, but I think the uncertainty, because you are in another country, you don't know the language. Sometimes you don't know the culture, and then things doesn't go well, and then you need another treatment, and then you are alone or only with your family. And I think it's risky in this sense, okay, because it's not your country. So if things doesn't go well, you'll be in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I almost want to put that. We're going to put that as its own, just foreign. Everything, the customs, the language, the procedures. Yeah. Great.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead, Evandro.
I think the most cases, for example, they are a little bit desperate and they ignore some risks too. Uh, because, in my opinion, most of them, uh, when they are in this situation, just seeking medical treatment in other countries, for example, they are in the a little bit in desperation,
Mm-hmm.
and they ignore some risks because they don't have other alternative to choice. I think the risks in this time, in this period, when they are seeking a new medical treatment in other countries, for example, they ignore most part of the risks. But of course, there are risks like other things,
Mm-hmm.
but they ignore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So it's when people go out of desperation, that's when they start taking risks.
Yeah, yeah. It's not only to save money. It's not only to save money because I think is when we are talking about our health, you don't think it. Most of people don't think about it save money only.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They want to to make a good treatment for their family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good, good. All right. Let's see. Thank you, Evandro. Great thoughts. Let's see. Let's add on. Let's keep adding. Jair, what do you see as some risks of medical tourism?
I think the worst risk it is risk of death.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
For instance, you can die in the surgery room, for instance, and sometimes the outcome is not according to the plan as well. And in this case, maybe you are in a foreigner country, and you need to know if you have insurance, for instance, to cover something that can go wrong, for instance.
Mm-hmm. Good. So, um, a risk of death or injury.
Yes, because for instance, here in Brazil, almost every week we can read or watch some news that a plastic surgery didn't end very well, and someone is in difficult condition at the hospital, and some of them can die as well, or they die.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest risk.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great. Bakri, how about you? Any other risks you can think of?
I agree with most of they said. I think when people go beyond, I mean, being desperate for any chances of treating difficult diseases, they took the risk, and yeah, it's just when you go to the wrong place and be under the wrong. This is the worst scenario. Otherwise, I think it's the same risk whether you go for outside country or in your own country.
Okay, so yeah, you risk it being kind of in a bad location.
Yes.
Great. Thanks. Anna Carolina, anything to add?
Yes. If people travel abroad to get some nips and tucks because it's cheaper in another country, they can become ugly because things can go awry, and they they might regret. Uh, what's my pronunciation? In the black, oh my gosh, black market, they can be arrested, you know. People can discover them. They can end up in jail. If they go uh, to become, because they want to be a guinea pig in a new experiment. Maybe they can have strange side effects. Who knows?
Yeah, so, oh gosh, how do I want to say that? Well, let's just say that how you said, strange side effects, looking worse than before, right? Making the problem worse, ugliness. Good, great risk.
End up in jail?
Oh yeah, up in jail because it's not necessarily legal. Oh good, how do I get into that? There we go, jail. Yeah, not necessarily legal. Good. All right, pretty good list again. Anything anyone wants to add?
For example, let me put you another point.
Mhm.
In our country, for example, some treatment about some product like uh, I don't know the name in English, marijuana. In English, is
Oh, marijuana?
yeah, in English,
Yeah, marijuana.
marijuana. For example, there is many diseases. They use, for example, this plant, this product, for example, to treat this disease. For example, some diseases related about uh, our head. I don't know the name. In Brazil, for example, is forbidden this treatment.
Mhm.
Some people need to buy these medicine products in other countries, like the United States, for example. Nowadays, our politics are discussing about this, but now today is forbidding uh, to to buy this product. You need to go to other country who is allowed uh, to buy this product. This is other point to make other people to take these decisions to go to other country.
Yeah, yeah, the different laws and different medicines that are available.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a great point. Excellent. Lots of slang words in the chat for that too. Bonus learning. Um, yeah, really great. Thanks for adding that. I think we've got a good comprehensive list. Now we are gonna do ganja. Hard G, J, ganja. Good. I do want to just touch on this. We might run out of time, but we'll just have one or two maybe. Because I can't really think of an answer, I guess. Why would medical tourism be a concern for taxpayers in some countries? I think this is yeah. Wilson, go ahead.
I think it's related to because in your country you pay tax, so you have healthcare plans, and then a foreigner came to your country and then start receiving the same care without paying taxes. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. So for a country where the taxpayers are paying for the health care.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And when a woman is pregnant, they came to Brazil and she had the baby here, delivered the baby here, without paying nothing for the care. So the taxpayers may be angry with that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep, so that makes sense. I've heard of people from the United States going up to Canada for that reason. All right, great. Did anyone
Yes.
else want to respond to that question? All right, well, let's continue, just in the interest of time. So we're going to do some vocabulary work. First, pronunciation. So This is very important, but it's a little strange in an online class. We're going to do it anyway, just like I would with my face-to-face classes. I'm going to say the word, you're going to repeat. We'll do each word 3 times, and then I'll take your questions on the pronunciation. After that, we'll match it up, and we'll get to our reading. Okay? All right, class, here we go. Number 1 is abroad.
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 Good. Abroad. Okay. Second one, number 2, cosmetic surgery. Cosmetic surgery. Cosmetic surgery. Okay. Number 3, stress is going to go on this syllable, the second syllable. Reliable. 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 Number 4, stress on the first syllable again. Cardiac. 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 Number 5, transplant. 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 Number 6, scam. 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 Number 7, infection. 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 Number 8, complication. 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 Number 9, malpractice. 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 Number 10 is sue. 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 Number 11, appealing. 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 And our last one, take priority. Take priority. Take priority. Priority. Okay. It's so strange for me not to have the audio feedback of my class chorally pronouncing, but I trust you are all pronouncing. All right, so we're going to match it up now. When it's your turn, read the word and guess the definition. This is a preview, so we are just guessing. It doesn't matter if you're incorrect. This is not a test. Let's just start to my left. Wilson, number 1.
Abroad. In another country. Letter E.
Exactly. Very good. Thank you, Ksenia.
Cosmetic surgery. It's F, a medical procedure to improve one's look rather than one's health.
Good. Yep. Cosmetic has to do with looks. Great. Jair, number 3.
Reliable. Let me see here. Trustworthy. Letter C.
Yep. Yep. Trustworthy. If someone is trustworthy, you can rely on them. They are reliable. Great. Evandro, number 4.
Number 4, letter B.
Exactly. Great. Has a link to Latin there. Wonderful. Number 5, Bakri.
Transplant, the transfer of body parts or blood to a patient in need.
Yes, indeed. Oh, what's happening here? There we go. Exactly right. Letter D, the transfer. Great. Thank you, Bakri. Anna Carolina, you're up next.
Scam. What is scam? Teacher. Could you give me a hint?
Let's see. It is a noun,
No.
and it's a bad thing.
Mm. Another hint?
I'm going to use it in a sentence.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. I got an email telling me that I won $10,000, but it was a scam.
Okay. An offer that turns out to be a lie or a trick?
Yes, indeed. Exactly. A scam. So something that looks like a good thing, a good opportunity, a good offer, but it's a lie. Wonderful. Back around to Wilson.
Okay, number 7, infection. Bacteria or viruses that enter the body and make a person sick.
Exactly.
Letter I. Bacteria, viruses, the pronunciation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Your microphone cut out. Can you say it again?
Bacteria or viruses.
Oh,
The
good.
pronunciation.
Yep.
Yes.
Viruses.
Viruses. Viruses.
Good.
Okay.
Nice. Great job. Good question. All right, Ksenia, to you, number 8.
Complication, a secondary difficulty that arises.
So usually in a surgery, a problem that is not the main problem. Great. Jair, back to you. Number 9.
Malpractice. Poor treatment from a professional that does not meet set standards.
Yep, where mal literally comes from Latin, meaning bad. Good. So bad practice. Great. Evandro, to you, number 10.
Number 10, sue. J, to take a person to court in hopes of getting money for a wrongdoing.
Very good. To sue. Great. I just forgot who that was. Evandro?
Yeah?
You did 10, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so Bakri's turn. Bakri, number 11.
Appealing, to become attractive, appealing.
Yeah, appealing, attractive. Very good. Which leaves us, Anna Carolina, the last one.
Too difficult, Stephanie.
I'll give you a hint if you need.
Yes, I need to become the most important person or thing.
Great. Excellent. Yep, to take priority is to become most important. Great. So these words are going to be in our reading. Are there any questions at this point?
No.
All right, let's continue. All right. So we're going to read this short text, give us a little more background. We'll have 5 people read, and we'll pause after each paragraph for questions and comments. All right, so let's have our first reader. Bakri, would you be our first reader, please?
Yes. Medical tourists are people who travel to another country to receive health care. This includes people who travel from poor countries to richer countries. For treatment, as well as those who travel from developed nations to developing nations. Medical tourism is a multi-billion-dollar business with an expected growth rate of 25% per year.
Excellent, great. Thank you, Bakri. Any questions on this paragraph? All right. Great. All right, so people going both ways, from poor countries to rich and rich to poor. Lots of different reasons. Anna Carolina, would you read paragraph 2, please?
Okay. There are several reasons why people seek healthcare abroad. Sometimes they want to avoid a long waiting list for surgery. Other times, surgical procedures are cheaper abroad. This is often the case with dental care and cosmetic surgery. Patients may also want treatment from a reliable specialist, such as a cardiac surgeon with a good reputation. In some cases, a risky procedure, such as an organ transplant, may not available in one's home country.
Thank you. Great. Yeah, so that kind of reminds me back of what Evandra was saying about people in desperation may go have a risk. That reminds me of that. Any comments, questions on this paragraph? All right. All right. Let's continue. Number 3. Heading around. Wilson, will you read number 3 for us?
Okay, number 3. The risk associated with medical tourism are quite high. Medical care scams are common. Medical staff may not have the training and skills they advertise. Infections from unsanitary medical supplies such as needles can be life-threatening. In addition, medical procedures often result in complications. This may not become apparent until after a patient has returned home. While follow-up treatment in a foreign country is very costly, suing a foreign doctor for a malpractice is typically impossible. Yes, that's the point.
All right, thank you. Yeah, interesting there. So this another thing to consider. A lot of risks and dangers. Any questions or comments on that paragraph?
No.
All right, let's continue. Ksenia, your turn. Paragraph 4.
Okay, the term medical tourism suggests that patients can do more than just get care. They can also take in the sights of a new country before or after their procedure. Visiting a doctor or dentist while on vacation in a sunny destination is appealing to many North Americans. Those who are willing to take the risk have to factor in transportation and accommodation into the medical costs.
All right, great, thank you. Yeah, when we mentioned that, talking at the beginning of the lesson, on the extra costs. Great. Any questions on that paragraph? All right, let's wrap it up, Jair. Paragraph 5.
Okay. In many underdeveloped nations where there aren't enough beds and physicians, residents now have to compete for care with healthy foreign patients. In developed nations where the top specialists work, some fear that wealthy foreigners will soon take priority over taxpayers on waiting lists.
All right, great. Thank you, Jair. Excellent. All right. So, comments on that paragraph?
I don't quite understand the last comment. Could you clarify this paragraph a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like we're talking kind of the cons for underdeveloped. Okay, so let's see. We've got the effect on underdeveloped nations, and then we're talking about the effect on developed nations. So some fear that wealthy foreigners will soon take priority over taxpayers on waiting lists. So one concern developed nations have more top specialists. And if people can simply buy their services, then they might help rich foreigners rather than the taxpayers who are waiting for the same services. So in a country, this one doesn't apply so much to
Yes,
America.
in Brazil, I've heard that some good hospitals, they have a special section of the hospital only for foreigners. It's happening.
Wow. So that's already a concern.
Yes. Yeah, the guys speak English and the doctors speak English, and they have a special treatment for the foreigners. And for sure, it's very expensive.
Yeah, so that can be in a country where the taxpayers are paying for health care. That could be really incredibly unfair.
Yes.
Interesting.
In Brazil, you don't need to have money to receive a treatment for government. Of course, this treatment is bad. But if you don't have enough money, one cent of dollar, you don't need to have money to receive a treatment. Of course, you will receive a bad treatment, but to receive a good treatment, to go to the good hospital, you need to pay a part. In a good hospital, for example, like our friend Wilson told us, you need to pay to have a good hospital.
May I comment?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. The doctors who work in the public healthcare system are the same who are working for the private healthcare system. So I beg to differ a little bit. I don't think people who are poor receive a bad treatment. It's not fair, Evandro, to say something like that, Here in my town, the same neurologist who takes care of poor people is the same who takes care of rich people, and he treats everyone equally. The only difference, the drawback is that in the public system, you have to wait more to go to a specialist or something like that. And of course, in some places who are far away from everything, uh, it, they lack some resources in the public health system. And there are some public hospitals that are not in great conditions, but in some cities the quality is the same. Really, if you go to Curitiba or here in my town, you cannot say that poor people don't receive a good treatment because they
No,
do.
I agree with you, but I am trying to talk. For example, of 10 people, 2 will have a good treatment, 8 not. We will have, for example, if I would have a good hospital and a good treatment, I don't need to pay a treatment a part, for example. I know many people who have in the past, for example, a good treatment by the government, a public hospital, but the most of them they needed to wait more time in the hospital to receive this treatment. The government don't have money enough to attend the many people. Most of them, I think, is, for example, 20% receive good treatment.
Mhm.
But we are one of the nation, I think, the only nation in the world who have universal medical treatment, medical for any people.
So it sounds to me like the biggest difference in treatment is just the speed. So quality sounds like quality is consistent, but you're going to have to wait longer. Um, Interesting. It fascinates me because, of course, my country does not have universal health care. Um, and I actually don't really know how
Uh,
healthcare works here.
yeah, teacher. For example, in Brazil, we have many problems, of course, like other countries. But if you, American people, are visiting us today, for example, you need it tomorrow. If you will need it tomorrow to receive a treatment, for example, you will receive a treatment. You don't need to pay enough money. You include you don't need to be a Brazilian citizen, for example.
Okay. Yeah, that is definitely rare. I think.
But of course, the government don't have enough money to everyone.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
yes, that's true only for emergencies, okay? If you're going to come to Brazil and say, okay, I will take a plastic surgery, it's not possible if you don't
Yeah, yeah,
pay.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
in an
Yeah.
emergency situation, for sure, you have the assistance.
So they take it
May,
on need too.
may I
Yes.
comment? There there are there are plastic surgery available for poor people. There are in Rio, uh, in some hospitals, but they have to wait a lot, really a lot.
That's funny that they even have plastic surgery.
Yes, they have it. Uh-huh.
Oh
They
wow.
have it, even silicone breasts and so on. And it's true, teacher. And if you have an accident, they will send you to a public hospital. Everyone goes to a public hospital if you are hit by a car or something like that. Then they save your life in a public hospital, no matter if you have money or no, because the ambulance comes and will end up in a public hospital. Then they will just move you. They will just transfer you if you are stable to a private hospital. So, uh, all right, guys.
That's interesting.
Yes, that's
Yes.
Yeah, cool. And then they don't give you a big bill.
no bill at all.
Wow, that's what every
No.
country should have. Yeah, in the United States, they'll save your life, they'll take you to the hospital, but then they'll send you a bill for thousands and thousands of dollars. So lots of fun. This is a great discussion. I like hearing about it. Any other comments on that topic? Or Bakri, what's it like in the Sudan? In Sudan? Well, let's see if we... I do recommend this vocabulary work. It's good stuff. But let's get one more discussion question to end on. Let's see. How about this one? Good conditional question to end with. If money were no object, which countries would you consider going to for specialized medical care? And which would you not want to go to? I'll go first. I don't really want much medical care, but I would go somewhere and get my teeth straightened. Probably Brazil, because it sounds like they've got their medical care figured out. All right, we'll go around. How about you, Wilson? If money were no object, would you go anywhere for any care?
Talking generally for all specialities, I think I should go to USA. I think you have the best hospitals, I think, and for all the specialities.
Okay, all right.
And for sure, I would go to Africa or an African country because I think they are very poor, no doctors, and poor medical assistance.
Good. All right. That makes sense. Kind of stay away from developing countries for medical care. Great. Thanks, Wilson. Jair, how about you? Where would you go or wouldn't you go if you were looking for specialized medical care?
Okay, if money were not no object, maybe I would go to Germany, and the country that I wouldn't go is Venezuela.
Good. Again, a very developed country and a somewhat less developed country. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Jair. Evandro, what would you do? Where would you go or not go?
I prefer spend my money with to know only other country, not to know a medical, specialized medical. But answer your question. If I will need, of course, I will find out some country of Europe or United States, Japan. Depends of the problem, of course. Because some countries specialize for each disease or each treatment. But country I would not go certainly. Many countries of the Africa and North Korea. Cuba is very good. Cuba is very good for many kinds of the disease, including the skin, for example. Poor countries, of course, because they will not provide us good treatment.
Yeah.
I think, of course.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be on the same page with that one. Great. Excellent. All right, thanks.
Cuba, their political situation is not good. They are changing now, but their health public is very beautiful, very great.
Okay, interesting. Maybe I'll go there.
Yeah, and health public in Cuba is very good.
And I believe there it's for universal health care there as well.
And without money.
That's amazing.
Yeah. They needed to change their political situation.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
needed to be democratic.
definitely.
It's changing now.
I want to visit there. It's one of my top countries to visit. Interesting. Okay, one more. Anna Carolina, would you ever consider going to another country? And where would you go or not go?
Yes, I would go to the US, and because they have great doctors there. But if money were no object, of course, because uh, any kind of treatment there is very high. It can cost an arm and a leg, and I would never go to Africa, Venezuela, and countries that I know they don't have a good medical care.
Good. Yeah, I think so. We're all pretty agreed on these things, at least in terms of where we're not going to go. I think I'll go to Brazil because it's somewhere I want to go to travel. And then while I'm there, I'll just get some plastic surgery done.
It's a very good place to you visit. It's a good people here.
I know. I don't know much about Brazilian culture, just what you've taught me on Verbling, but definitely top places I want to go.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me. It was another great discussion. Thanks for your participation, and have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
All right. See
Thank
you
you.
all
Bye-bye.
later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.